Welcome to Country Made Simple. I'm Susan and welcome to our kitchen. This is Pumpkin. She is with us today and we are making
fruit roll-ups.
Yeah, fruit leathers, which are going to be exciting for the kids. What's really wonderful is Pumpkin is now 8, she's almost 9, and she's able to do this recipe all by herself. Pretty cool, huh? We're gonna do this today and show them how it's done, right? Right, okay. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make a strawberry apple roll-up or fruit leather, which is going to take the actual full strawberries that I've already had. I just used frozen. You can actually use fresh if you choose to. I use frozen because I'm kind of lazy, right? Yeah. So we basically just thawed them out, drained them a little bit because we want to, the whole idea is to reduce the amount of liquid because we are going to dehydrate this. So we have 1.5 cups of the strawberries, 1 cup of applesauce, and it is unsweetened. And because she's a sugar addict, we're only going to put a teaspoon of sugar into this. You can use honey or agave, which also works beautifully, and will actually just give it a little bit more of a sweetness, because depending on the sweetness of your fruit is going to really give you your final product. It's going to concentrate all of those flavors into the final fruit peel that's going to be peel off of our sheets. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the dehydrator. The dehydrator itself, you can use the round type, which is just one setting of the temperature, which usually sets it between 145 and 165 depending on your model. I actually have a model behind me that we're going to be using, which is a Cosori. I cannot even say the name of this, but it has multiple temperature levels, and it works beautifully on doing your herbs or your leathers, or even going all the way and doing jerkies, which have to be done at a little higher temperature. So we have on top of this, this is the racks that it does come with, which will actually allow it to dry. Well, obviously this isn't gonna work for a fruit roll-up, right? Go right through it? That would not be good. So we have, it's a leather tray. And so you can use, if you don't have something like this just allows me to know I already have 1/4 inch already measured out, which makes it easy for the kiddos to make sure that it's an even thickness that's going to actually do correctly when it's dehydrating, because we don't want it to be too thin, it gets really brittle. If you don't have this, that's okay. You can use parchment paper, which will work beautifully as well. You can use plastic wrap too. I don't really recommend it. Just because you are adding plastics, you know, it's just a possible issue with the BPA and all that fun stuff. So, you know, just try to stay as safe as possible for your kiddos. So anyway, so that kind of goes over that piece. So go ahead and pull that one forward. We're going to puree this, and this is just a little mini food processor, which I use all the time in my kitchen. So go ahead and we're gonna dump this in. So go ahead and, can you hold that? Here, tell you what, why don't you do this part? And we're gonna slide those right in there. Ooh, and they're all slippery, aren't they? That's okay. We're gonna go ahead, I know, one right back there. There we go. That's how we get rid of that, right? Okay, and we're gonna put our lid on, push it back this way, and press the button. Keep going. We want this to be really pureed. Okay, and stop, let's check it. Now, we're gonna take a look here and see. It looks pretty pulverized to me. What do you think there, Pumpkin? Yeah, okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and add in the applesauce. So go ahead and dump that in. Ready to go. Good job. Okay, could throw that back in the sink or here, that's fine. And then we're gonna do a teaspoon, which she's gonna do, of sugar. Okay, over the top. And, whoa, I guess I got a little bit more, huh? Go ahead and dump it all in. You do love your sugar, don't you? Yes, she does. Alrighty, and then we're just gonna do it a couple of times. Just make sure it's nice and mixed one more time. That's good. Go ahead and throw that behind. So put that in the sink, please. All right, that's pretty much it. See how fast that is? and it's just a quick blend. So as you are actually blending, you're going to notice it has a nice thick consistency, which is what you're going to want. So we are going to dump this out right in the center. Okay? And you're like, oh no, how do I know if I've got enough or if I don't have enough? This particular recipe will actually do a full sheet, which is a 12 by 18 sheet. You can actually, you know what? I don't have a dehydrator. What do? You know, you can do this in the oven. If you have like a Silpat mat, you can actually push this out on that on a cookie sheet and do it at 170 in your oven. And stick that behind. So I'm going to have, Avery's going to spread this out for me, and you're going to pat it. So we're going to kind of pat it out, kind of a pat like that. And so we're going to do this and shake it a bit. We just don't want it to go above the lip. Okay. Let me go ahead and grab it for a second there, sweetheart. Let me grab this just because we're time-wise. Okay. Just going to kind of pat it out. You don't really want to spread it. And then I'm going to have her jiggle it here in just a second. She likes this part. Okay, go ahead and give it a shake. You're not being like Taylor Swift, are you? Gotta shake it, right? Do a little bit more and make sure all up there is all shook. Shake it, hey. We're shaking it good. Hey, there you go, perfect. Now, if you see that this is actually, you see how it is exactly at that 1/4 mark, all the way around. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, that it's right up to it, which is what you really want. If it's less than that, what's going to happen is it's going to get really thin on those edges, and that is definitely not the consistency you're going to want for this leather to end up being perfect. So now we are going to put this into the dehydrator. Now, this one actually goes on 135 or 130. I'm going to do it at 135 because it's very humid today. And then this is going to go, we're going to check it in about 5 hours. In about 5 hours, it should be tacky enough to us to actually peel it up and flip it over and let it go for about another 3. So let's go ahead and put it in and get it started. Okay, keep it very level. There we go. And then comes in like this. And I know. All right. I know, right? We're going to hold on to this at 135. And then we're going to go for, I'm going to set it for 8 hours, but I'm going to check it in 5. And that's it. This is kind of where we are now, and it should start now. There it goes. Hopefully.
It's going, I think.
I'm going to be editing this part out. All right, that's it. We're going to check it back in 5 hours, and once we check it, it should be nice and tacky on the top. If it is, as long as we can lift it, flip it over, let it finish out, and then we're just going to add it onto some nice wax paper so it's easy for the kiddos to peel it off. So we will see you back here in just a few. All right, it has been almost 4 hours. I turned up the heat just a little bit on it about an hour ago. And so we're going to pull it. Go ahead and pull that forward there, Pumpkin.
This?
Yep.
Is it hot?
No. Okay. And then kind of touch the top. Is it kind of tacky? Or
yes.
Is it, yeah, it's still a little tacky, which is really good. But what we're going to do is I was going to show you on the side here. I kind of started pulling this up a little bit. And if you can see right here where we're still getting a lot of this tackiness, it shows it's not all the way done. Enough to where we can flip it. So we want to push that back down, and then we're going to let it go for about another hour, and then we will come back and flip it. So stay tuned. Okay, we are 4 hours into this. We just turned this over, and you're going to see where we have like, it's kind of like really wet right in here. We had to do a little bit of repair on where it wasn't all the way totally dry yet. So we flipped it over, and this should only go for about another hour. Pumpkin's going to put it back in the oven or into the dehydrator, and there we go. We're going to come back and check it in about an hour and see if we're ready by then. Okay, looks like our time is up. We're going to check it again. So she's going to open up this, and it looks pretty good. Go ahead and pull it forward. Let's take a nice look. It shouldn't be that hot. Okay. Yeah, it's all nice and dry now, which is exactly what we want to see. And so what we've done is Pumpkin's already prepared our parchment paper, which we're doing a peach today, which I also use for smoking, which is wonderful. So what she's going to do is she's going to peel this off gently, and we're going to put the sticky side, this part, straight onto the paper. And see, look how beautifully she's doing this. Now, this is a really fun one with the kids because you can do so much with it, and it's all nice and stuck. So now she's going to just roll it up. Hold on. Go straight across. And now give it a tight roll. Kind of tight. And she's going to roll it all the way up. Because this is how we're going to cut our strips. And this is how it's going to store. And this is really fun for the kids because then she made this herself. And now we're going to flatten it a bit. And I'm going to give her the camera while I cut it, because it's going to be kind of thick. So kind of watch this here. Whoops. All right, you good there? Okay. So basically we're just going to go ahead and cut them into strips. And this is a little thick. You're going to probably have to help the kiddos with it. And then, you know, you're going to do about 2 inches. And it makes it for a nice roll for them to be able to take out. And then once it's all done, you can store these in a glass jar or in somewhere that's airtight is the most important
bag?
part.
A Ziploc bag?
A Ziploc bag could work too. I try to use things that we don't throw away. You know me, I love my jars. And that's pretty much it. So now I'm going to change out, and she is going to do this. Now unroll it, and let's try it and see what you think. And then you can just peel a piece off, and let's see what she thinks. What do you think?
Good.
It is really good, isn't it? Does it taste like the fruit roll-ups that you get in the store? But it has absolutely no additives. So
but it tastes a little bit different.
How different does it taste like?
You can really taste the fruit.
You can taste the fruit in it. That's a big good thing, right? Awesome. Well, from the word of Miss Pumpkin, she's got this all taken care of, and she was excited when it was coming out. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.